Sir William Cash.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am deeply worried, indeed, about the proposals that I've read already in this white paper and in the three-page document that we received the other day, and for this reason. On the issue of sovereignty of Parliament, we passed the Withdrawal Act, which repeals the 1972 Act. Under these proposals, as I read them, and the so-called parliamentary lock, in compliance with the Common Rule Book, which would deal with regulatory rule-taking from the EU and discussions that would take place around that, page 91 of this document tells us that it will be scrutinised in accordance with the normal legislative procedure and that Parliament could decide not to enact them. Now, I understand what they're getting at, but, if I may say, Mr. Speaker, as Chairman of the European Scrutiny Committee, and having been on that committee for 33 years, despite what was promised in the White Paper in 1971, before the 72 Act, I can assure the House that never, in my experience, has there ever been an occasion when the House has overturned a European regulation, which puts me on serious caution. Therefore, I have to ask, how would this system work in practice? Would it be whip-ridden, and would it be burglar-proof from the so-called parliamentary lock?
Well, I thank my honourable friend, and I pay tribute to his huge experience in this area. In relation to the parliamentary scrutiny and the ability for the UK to control any changes in the Common Rule Book for goods, let's be clear, as I said before, we would expect to have a proper dialogue in relation to any changes that were made on both sides, and there would be a parliamentary lock to make sure that in translating them into legislation in this country, that there was proper democratic oversight. Of course, if this House and this Parliament decided not to, it would have consequences for the agreement, and that would feed back into the review mechanisms and the dispute resolution mechanism that we've carefully tailored. That's the balanced approach we sought to make sure that we have consistent interpretation of the rules that we're going to apply in that area, whilst retaining democratic oversight in this House.